country health authorities continue battling a new Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Those are top stories. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast over Equinoxe Television. We are Equinoxe Television. We are independent. We are fearless. We are credible. Thank you for trusting us. We begin in the Northwest Regional Capital, Bamenda, where safety forces or elements of the rescue unit of the army have saved a man who attempted to commit suicide. The businessman is said to have attempted several times to take away his own life, and this time he was saved by rescue soldiers in the town of Bamenda. As our correspondent Bustela reports. Bustela reporting on a man who is said to have attempted to take away his own life, a businessman who attempted committing suicide, but he was saved by rescue soldiers in the town of Bamenda. And Bustela now tells us more.
I know you know. You want to die, no, baby. I know die, no. Where my authority will go, you know.
A businessman from Womb, identified as Achuo Kennedy, was rescued on Monday after an apparent suicide attempt at Tanka in Bamenda. According to local sources, Kennedy, who lives in the Rendezvous neighborhood, entered the water before residents alerted the Army rescue team. The emergency responders intervened and successfully brought him to safety. Witnesses say this is not the first time he has reportedly attempted to end his life. Local sources allege that he was involved in a previous incident in Bamenda, although the reasons behind his apparent distress remains unclear. The case has sparked concern among residents, with many calling for greater attention to mental health and timely support for people experiencing emotional or psychological crises.
Residents of a Tetak neighborhood in the Yaoundé 7 subdivision are urging council authorities to speed up drainage construction works in the area to avoid the consequences of not having a drainage system in place, notably during the rainy season. And the project, launched in 2025, was temporarily halted due to both natural and human factors. But during a site visit this week, the mayor of the Yaoundé 7 municipality expressed confidence that a Tetak will finally be opened up once the work is completed. Smanji can give a report.
In Yaoundé 7, a major drainage project launched in June 2025 is raising hopes in Etetak. The 24-month project has faced setbacks due to unforeseen problems. That means residents are still dealing with floods when it rains and dust when it's dry. Work on the project is 25% complete. Progress has been slowed mainly by heavy rains, which halt work on the waterway, and by the presence of occupants in the project zone. Officials say the resettlement issue has now been settled by the contracting company and work is ongoing. But with the construction now visible on the ground, residents say their hopes for a better future has been renewed. Stagnant water has been a problem here, with nowhere to go. It settles in one spot. A new drainage system is now under construction to collect water from surrounding basins and channel it to La Mefu, the main discharge point. Following a meeting with officials, the mayor of Yaoundé 7 toured the site and commended the progress made. I am pleased with the progress of the work and the quality I am seeing. My hope is that work will continue at this same pace. If it does, Yaoundé 7 will finally overcome one of its biggest challenges, flooding. And there is more. Plans are also on the way to build a road linking Etetak, Oyomabang, and Kolbison, a move expected to open up the area and ease movement. The project kicked off on June 12, 2025 from Madjeni to the Nsimievuna roundabout.
After the fourth population census in Cameroon, after the population census has been postponed twice by the Prime Minister, the divisional officer of Mbanga in the Mongo division in the littoral region of the country has made it a priority. For over a week. He taught villages to raise awareness on the importance to be counted, an initiative which comes days after the Prime Minister postponed the general population and housing census in the country. Details from Cedric Chakuto.
The government, through the Prime Minister, has extended the period for the fourth general population and housing census until September 15, 2026. This further extension aims to complete the operation, which has been delayed by logistical difficulties and low participation from some households, a worrying situation understood by the divisional officer of Banga subdivision, Mongo division of the littoral region, who went out in his area of command, sensitizing the inhabitants on the importance of this operation. His main objective is to clear up misunderstandings. For some, being counted meant receiving money. The divisional officer explained clearly that taking the census is about preparing for the future. I am here to fulfill the mission entrusted to me by the government. It is very important to be counted. It will help us local authorities to know your needs and how to solve problems. So please welcome the enumerators and allow them do their job. By making the fourth general population and housing census a grassroots initiative, the divisional officer has not only counted citizens, above all, he has restored trust between the administration and the inhabitants.
Inhabitants of Akwaya in the southwest region of Cameroon raised concerns about their difficult living conditions compounded by development challenges and security threats linked to the close to a decade-old Anglophone crisis which started late 2016. They voiced their concerns during a town hall meeting organized by the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator for the southwest region in Manfe. Rex Safwan files in greater details from Boya.
Over 6 decades after its creation, Akwaya subdivision continues to struggle with a lack of basic social amenities.
Akwaya subdivision was created 63 years today, and we have been deprived of road infrastructure. We have been deprived of medical. We have been deprived of pipe-borne water, and even extortion of money by officers. For instance, a farmer will carry cocoa from the farm to the market to come to Manfe. They will stop on the way and collect money from the farmer.
Meeting officials of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator for the Southwest region during a town hall meeting in Manfe, owing to the inaccessibility of the area and the fragile security situation, according to the divisional officer, the residents tabled their concerns.
We have reassured them that the local councils are an instrument by which the state seeks to provide services to the population to improve on their daily well-being, and that we exhort the Lord Mayor and the other stakeholders, including the traditional rulers, to ensure that they can contribute to a rapid return or a faster return of the population to Akwaya, so that they can benefit from the services that the state is providing to councils in other localities.
During the meeting, they were called upon to promote peace so that development can take root and progress smoothly.
Ask those who are still keeping arms to lay them off, come back, be integrated to the society. We are one, we cannot be killing our brothers. So we thank thank Madam the Public Independent Conciliator for coming right to our doorstep to hear from us.
Akwaya has in recent years faced multiple security challenges, including attacks by armed herdsmen, reportedly from neighboring Nigeria. Their meeting with officials of the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator comes as a sigh of relief as they finally found the opportunity and confidence to voice their concerns.
President Paul Biya has reshuffled the top hierarchy of the defense forces of the Republic of Cameroon, appointing a new commander of the Presidential Guard as part of a series of senior military promotions and command changes. After 58 days away from Cameroon presidential decrees appointing new top military officials were made public yesterday, and the appointment also includes new leadership for the Rapid Intervention Battalion. Details in this report.
Extends beyond the new. Among the newly promoted officers is Brigadier General Raymond Jean-Charles Beko Abondo, who has also been confirmed as commander of the Presidential Guard. Born in Baturi, he joined the army in 1992 and trained for 5 years at the Everipidon Military Academy in Greece. Since joining the Presidential Guard in 1999, he has commanded intervention companies, the Gas Air Defense Artillery Battery, the Commando Training Center, and served as assistant to the Presidency's Technical Advisor on Special Forces before taking command of the elite units in 2013. He has remained at his helm for more than a decade, overseeing the security of the head of state and key state institutions. Also elevated is Brigadier General Elundu Mesmin Magloa Aristide, the only officer promoted from the National Gendarmerie. He has been appointed Director of Administration and Logistics at the General Delegation for National Security, where he will supervise the management of logistics, equipment and administrative support for the National Police Services. Brigadier General Epien Gome Wilson now assumes the post of Inspector of the Armed Forces. His mission will be to oversee operational readiness, discipline and the performance of military units across the country. The reshuffle also places Brigadier General Mezui Zo Eli Romans at the head of the Elite Rapid Intervention Brigade, one of Cameroon's principal counter-terrorism and rapid response forces. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Nchanku Njundam Uma has been appointed commander of the 11th Motorized Infantry Brigade, where he will oversee military operations and combat preparedness within the formation. The restructuring extends beyond the newly promoted generals. General of Division Ebaka Hippolyte has been appointed Major General of the Armed Forces General Staff, alongside several other command changes as the government seeks to reinforce the country's military leadership in the face of persistent security challenges on multiple fronts.
Out of Cameroon, we begin in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where health authorities are battling a new Ebola outbreak as efforts intensify to contain the spread of the virus, and then to Spain, where dozens of migrants died while attempting to reach Europe by sea, and finally in Ethiopia, fresh fighting in the Tigray region is raising concerns over renewed instability. Immaculate Fogwe reports.
Democratic Republic of Congo continues to battle its worst Ebola outbreak on record, with health authorities intensifying efforts to contain the deadly virus. Thousands of infections and deaths have been recorded, prompting the World Health Organization to expand treatment, surveillance and vaccine research. Health officials are urging residents to report suspected cases early and observe preventive measures, as fears remain high that the outbreak could spread to more communities. In Morocco, authorities are investigating a deadly migrant tragedy after over 50 people died while attempting to reach the Spanish enclave of Ceuta. Many of the victims drowned or were crushed during a massive rush, including tens of thousands of migrants trying to cross by land and sea. The unprecedented crossing overwhelmed border authorities and sparked renewed debate over irregular migration into Europe. Spanish officials say thousands have already returned to Morocco, while both countries continue to investigate the circumstances surrounding the disaster and step up border security. And in Ethiopia, fresh fighting has erupted in the disputed western Tigray region, raising fears of a return to the devastating conflict that officially ended with a peace agreement in 2022. Reports indicate clashes between the Ethiopian Federal Forces and Tigrayan fighters, with both sides blaming each other for the renewed violence. The latest fighting has heightened concerns among humanitarian agencies and the international community, who warn that any further escalation could reverse years of fragile peace efforts and worsen the humanitarian situation in northern Ethiopia.
And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Talking Point comes up next. Pascal Taguia Fomekong, civil society leader, is our guest today. Thank you for joining us in Talking Point. You're welcome. Now, first question to you. Give us your perspective, your understanding of the growing ills in the Cameroonian society today, deviance on and offline.
Let me start by saying something. What is happening to Cameroon is not surprise for me. Some years ago, I told some close friends the way we are letting our society, it's got nothing to do with the authority. All the time we talk of authorities. You know, when we leave anyone come and settle as a church or whatever NGO and all, we are going definitely to learn on this. And talking to you, I can remember in 2016, March 2016, we had prophets coming to warn men of God in this country that if you carry on like that, things coming, you will never imagine that they can come. And as they said it, the church just stood quiet, and in October, we are from March to October, the Nous started in our country. So for me, it's no surprise. First, Cameroon is among the African countries. We come out from 400 years of slavery, added to 100 years of colonization. This is a trauma. These young ladies, they live in a trauma. You can observe it in their daily life. When you see a young girl preferring to go and spend 500,000 to buy a hair coming from a dead person, either in Brazil or in India, it shows everything. They are lost. They have no standard. They have no standard. We have reached the level where even at school, the professor or the teacher has problem when he wants to bring the right thing to do, the right education to the child, and going up to the level where you have the children at the university. So we have reached that level where that trauma, we need to get it off. We can't do nothing not getting that off. And I'm talking of these young ladies, and that you see also the others benefiting, those who call themselves women of God, that you find nowhere in the Bible. Jesus had so many women around him as disciples, but he never came to choose among the apostles a woman. That's a message. That doesn't mean that God cannot call a woman as a servant of God. We have a case of that Samaritan at the well, where Jesus comes and she's actually like the first evangelist from the Bible. That's a special call. But for the rest of the women, the Bible through the mouth of Paul says they have to sit and let their husband talk. They are not out to give indications. When the society has lost those basic truths, and when you look at our African society, that's how it used to be as well. This is not the Old Testament. The woman has a place, fundamentally taken from the rib of a man. She has a place to subdue herself and let the man rule the society. But we're in society now where the father in the house doesn't know his position, because from the West we receive those ideas of the woman is equal to man. And we see all the results that they are getting from losing that original truth in this Western society. Where now, seeing that they are lost, you have women with women, men with men, and they show the world that they brought modernity. You see the young girl, she can die in the desert or the waters because she wants to go to Europe, because she has been modeled on the basis that these people are the link to the happiness. this is the only way she can be happy as well. We need to break all these lies and come back to ourselves. I thank God with the multipolar world that is coming. There is no way that is going to come, and some signs are shown already. So I believe these deviances are going to be tackled by themselves. She young lady, a young lady that is creating now some factories of foodstuffs and all this and all that. She has already 3 factories in the country. We had another young man who created that Bon Francois. Something is happening. I believe it's going to pass because the trauma is passing away, is going away. And I sometimes ask myself how a young man can go and be caressing a hair from a stranger on the head of a young lady and say, I love you. For me, that's really way from where the real trauma comes.
Right, women have a place. Women have a place at every strata of society, at every level, at the fore, in the middle, at the back, at the top, at the bottom. Women have a place. Now, you said this, and what should be done? What should be done to turn down the curve of ills in our society, deviant behavior, disorder in all sectors? What should be done? We are seeing some government authorities like the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family speaking out to condemn, and other authorities, but we are not seeing some concrete actions on the part of the leaders. What should be done by the leaders? What should be done by the citizens? What should be done by everybody? Because it's not just an issue of the authorities, but everybody.
As you said it yourself, this is a matter of all. So first, an education of all the masses, starting by the authorities themselves. Because in Cameroon, we have a ministry called the Ministry of Social Affairs. And that's a concern. I saw recently a country where a woman, when she was caught, poorly dressed, she was just taken aside and that dress be replaced and she was beaten in the police. When you do this kind of action, this is going to definitely change the attitude. And education, we do that all in love. Because as I said, they are lost in a move that if you don't come out, it's going to get worse. But I believe things are going to change. Because the same way as the Minister of Territorial Administration started a wonderful work by putting aside all what calls itself a church. Because it's very important to note that yourself, you can have in your house. You can transform your house, Mr. Journalist, and call it a church. And everybody's going to call it a church. It's not because people are calling it a church, that is the church of Christ. That has nothing to do with the body of Christ. Unfortunately, 90 to 95% of churches, as I always say as an evangelist, I had the chance to work with many denominations, even out of Cameroon. And I definitely saw almost the same trend. Offering, call, taken from people as a tax. This is virtually seen everywhere. While we have a simple message from Jesus himself. When he sees the woman with 2 coins and says, that's the one that has given the most. And you will visit virtually 95% of churches, you will see the same way offerings are handled. It's like division between the number of members. You have a young lady or a young man in the church who struggle even to trek to come to church. Who struggle to come and he drops something. It seems to, no. People look at those who are putting big money and they respect them. And everybody tend to just respect that. While Jesus is saying that woman is the one who gave the most. That's a problem. That's a first problem. That the money, the offering is taken today in so many churches as a tax. So the Christian that does not give much, feel himself low, and finally might just lose the faith. You have so many cases of these children, these young ladies, dying in the sea, dying in the desert, where at the last resort, she went to something called itself a church. And that's where she got worse. She lost her last reserves. Because the man or the woman in front preaching is not thinking about a soul. He's thinking about a pocket. That's the problem. This is not a Christian teaching. We have to cease to call everywhere that call itself a church. I had an opportunity to come in your own plateau, and I said I would like the government to extend this move and get a written testimony from everyone that call himself a servant of God. I've got mine. I've got mine that I can give. Anyone that call himself a servant of God, let him give a written testimony. And we have a committee that sit and handle so that the real ones doing good to society can come out.
Right, Pascal Tagia, I understand from what you're saying, and according to the Bible, that offering is a matter of obedience to God, a matter of showing love to God, a matter of honoring God, and not something that should be done by constraint. Nobody is supposed to be forced to do that. And now, talk to me about the responsibility of individuals with regards to what we can qualify as unorthodox practices, anti-biblical practices. We see people on television, even here in Cameroon, rushing to buy the blood of Jesus. I don't know where those who are selling it got it from. Rushing to buy an apple to eat and have a child. Rushing to buy a broom with which to sweep demons out of the house instead of praying. Rushing to buy water, oil, or whatever, and so on. And then these practices are going on with the recent case in Yaoundé where a woman is said to have killed a child, purportedly as a result of an instruction given by someone who called himself a man of God. I don't know whether he is or not. The responsibility of individuals who are falling into this trap.
Actually, what is happening in the society, as you are saying, is the responsibility of all, but there are two dimensions I would like to talk about. The first dimension, everyone knows one of the weaknesses of Cameroonians is reading. And that's why you have the bookshops that are almost down. Cameroonians don't like to read. It is said in Cameroon, if you want to hide something, put it in a book. The Bible is a book as well. People don't read the Bible to know the truth. And that's what others benefit from. That's the first angle that I am saying. The truth is in the Bible. And if she was to read the Bible, you were talking about some cases. I saw a worse case. A man on top of a woman having sex with her, and she's closed, she has the eyes closed, because she came to say she has been in marriage for years, she needs a child, and at the end, she was pregnant. And she gave a testimony she was pregnant. That's a molding that anyone can do in Cameroon. If these women, they are not educated to know the truth is only in the book. Read the book to know the truth and pray that God reveals the truth to you. We are going to carry on having that. If she was reading, she will not go and transform her hair to spend half of a capital of revenue of year to buy a hair and put on the head. There's no need. It's not in the Bible. Or write on the hand or feet and all these. There is no water as such. There is nothing like that. I fell in that before. I remember I was in Israel. And people were rushing to get the water from Jordan. And some other people just coming to take that. When you get the truth from the Bible, there is no need to go and get in it. Today we have the Holy Spirit. If the person prays, God is going to start guiding him. Now, as I said, there are two angles to that question. So the first angle is to encourage people who want to know God, to want to take God to help them solve their problem, to read the Bible and pray and let Jesus help them. He is ready to do it. The second angle is pretension, Mr. Babila. That's a problem. It's a big problem. I believe that even among other African countries, probably that sin of pretension, that is, it is really this is one characteristic that is finishing Cameroonians. And you see it at the level even of the government. You see people who take the money that can make a life for 10,000 Cameroonians, and it's only this is pretension. They want to have. And because they have been molded for that. This has been prepared by the white man, by the Western themselves in Berlin. Everybody knows about the conference, the Berlin conference in the 1884 and 85. There will be more to that. He's not finding life in that, but pretension, he thinks by putting so many cars. And this has reached what we call church, where these men you call men of God, all what they are looking is to have also their own Mercedes outside, to live in a high standard life. If you ask them, they'll say Papa Abraham was prosperous, the son Isaac was prosperous, Mr. Jacob was prosperous, Joseph. My dear friends, nowhere in the Bible any of them was prosperous, was running after prosperity. Prosperity was following him. Maybe I'll close this answer by talking about what I call offering, how it should work. I organized a crusade inviting some few pastors at Petit Terrain in Bonamusadi. And at the end, the pastor that I invited to preach, there was a group of 3 young ladies who came at the end. When we were packing the chairs and all this, we had ended the conference. And they brought a plastic full of a lot of millions. I cannot tell you a lot of money. And they asked me, sir, you don't take offerings here? And I told the pastors around, please pray for that money. Let it be used for the work of God. This is how offering should work. From a heart that in touch. You don't know which witchcraft. I've told this young lady maybe to pass your exam or to go abroad, bring me millions of this to do that. But the truth came out. And that's how she offered that money for the work of God. That's what is called offering. A person comes to church to see the problem answer. Once the problem is answered, the offering comes, it comes automatically. There is no forcing around. There is no offering as tax to know God. What you have received free, give it freely.
Thank you very much, Pascal Tagia, Fomekon civil society leader and evangelist. Thank you for coming to have this conversation with him. You can take another appointment with Pascal Tagia Fomekon every Saturday at 5 p.m. on Radio Bonnouvelle 99.6 FM. Thank you for coming to have this conversation with us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying on Equinoxe Television. Thank you for your time. God bless Cameroon. God bless Africa. Goodbye.